boys and girls. Miss Janie again. I'm so glad you're here with me today. We've been studying this week about Abram and Lot, and I'm so glad you've joined me in this. You know, we have so many Old Testament heroes that God gave us as examples to do and to look at their lives and see how that they obeyed what God said. Well, you know, Abram loved God and he worshiped God. And you know, God looked at Abram and he told Abram, he said, I'm going to change your name to Abraham. I'm going to change your name to Abraham. That's what I want you to be called, because you're going to be the father of a great nation. God told him, he said, as many as the stars in the sky. And then God said, as much as the sand in the sea. Ever been to the beach, boys and girls? Ever been down by the river? All that sand? Could you count all those grains of sand? Oh my goodness, that would take forever, wouldn't it? And still not even touch it. But God said, Abram, you are going to be a great nation. And out of Abram and his son came the nation of Israel. Oh my goodness, how wonderful. But God looked at Abraham and he said, you know, I just want to make sure that Abram loves me, that he loves me as much as I want him to. And, you know, Abraham was willing to do anything that God asked. So by this time, Sarah's son, Isaac. Remember what Isaac means? Remember? Laughter. And God said, Abram, I want you to take your son, your only son, Isaac, and I want you to go up on the mountain. Oh, go up that mountain. And Abraham, when you get up there, I want you to sacrifice your son Isaac to me. Well, Abram loved Isaac better than anything. That was his only son. That was his only child. That was his only son. Oh my goodness. And Abraham loved him with a love unbelievable. But God said, Abraham, I want you to take Isaac up on that mountain and I want you to give him back to me. I want you to put him on an altar and sacrifice him. Well, don't you know that it took everything within Abraham to be able to load the donkey and the carts up with wood for a sacrifice? And he set out with Isaac. And they went up the mountain. Oh, they climbed up the mountain. And when they got to the top of the mountain, Isaac said, Father, where's the sacrifice? We brought wood. We brought wood for a sacrifice, but where's the lamb for the sacrifice? And you know what Abraham said? He said, Isaac, God himself will provide a lamb. Well, Isaac didn't understand that. And he thought, well, my goodness. So Abram built an altar. And he built the fire. And he tied Isaac onto the wood and got ready to put him on the altar. And when Abraham drew back to kill his son, to offer his son to God, God stopped his hand. And he said, Abraham, I know that you love me. You have proven your love for me. And remember, boys and girls, Abraham had told Isaac that God himself would provide a lamb. Well, they looked, and over in the thicket was a ram, something for the offering. So Abraham and Isaac got that ram out of that thicket, and they dressed it, and they put it on the altar and offered it to God. See, boys and girls, even back in Abraham's day, God said, I will provide a lamb. I will provide a sacrifice. The sacrifice that God provided was Jesus, his son, his only son, his loving son. God provided his only son that you and I could have salvation today. Isn't that wonderful, boys and girls? Oh, such a great love. How much God loves you. I've repeatedly told you over and over how special you are to God. You are so special. How special you are. God gave his son for you. Oh my goodness. That should make us so happy. So happy that God himself provided a lamb. I've enjoyed this week with you, boys and girls. I've enjoyed learning about Abraham and Lot and Isaac. Wonder what Old Testament hero we'll find out about next week. Well, come back and be with me, and we'll see. Have a good weekend.